Hello and welcome to our lunchtime webinar, everyone. Hope everyone is enjoying their much needed sunshine. I'm Shah, I'm one of the account managers at Circle. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come speak with us. So we are joined today by Anil, our lead developer, who will be demonstrating the membership features, and also Dave joining us to answer some questions that you may have. Over to you, Anil, who has extensive experience in the management of CiviCRM, and hopefully he'll share some useful tips with you. Okay?
Sure. Just sharing my screen. So today's topic is around Civi membership and what the out-of-the-box features can do for your organizations. There's a number of areas that I want to cover, which include membership types and statuses, joining and renewal forms, some tips and tricks that you may not be familiar with, member communications, how Civi can handle that, a members area, so members can log in and self-serve, reporting, of course, and some suggestions about extensions and modules that we've used that can enhance the CiviCRM product. So everything I'm about to show you today will be available on our demo site, which you can access and have a play around with. And we'll share the link again towards the end of this session. So Civi Member, what is it? It's a component in CiviCRM which allows you to provide functionality to support the management of memberships. If you have the Civi Member component enabled, you should see memberships in the CiviCRM menu. If that's not available, it's either because you don't have the correct permissions or the component has not been enabled. So we can enable the component if you have the right permissions by going to Administer, System Settings and Components, and make sure that Civi Member has been checked. So first things first with Civi Member, if you're not using it and you're thinking about using it, we need to think about membership types. And membership types are the basic building block for memberships management in CiviCRM. So we need to create some membership types first, and they can be accessed and created under Administer, Civi Member, and Membership Types. On our demo site, we've already got a handful already created, but Civi Member allows you obviously to give your membership a title, have two types of periods called rolling or fixed. Rolling is, so if I join today, then 1 year later, then my membership expires, whereas fixed memberships can have a fixed start date and end date. So your membership might start on 1st of January and it will expire on 31st of December, regardless of when you may have joined. So I'm just going to create a quick membership type here just to show you the fields that are available. So let's create a new one called student. So it asks for a name, which is mandatory. All needs to be linked to a membership organization in CiviCRM. You can optionally add a minimum fee. You can have free memberships, but you can also charge. So let's say a student membership is £25. We have to link it to a financial type. Let's select member dues. We can have auto renew options depending on the payment processor that you use. So Stripe, PayPal, Go Cardless have those options. So we can select that option if you want to give the option to your members to be able to auto renew. Membership type duration unit, basically how long the period should the membership be. So we can keep it simple and say 1 year, but you can have it as day, month, year, or even a lifetime. Membership type plan, as I suggested earlier, you can have rolling and fixed. Let's do fixed for this one. And we can say as a student, let's say the membership starts on September the 1st every year, and it ends August the 31st. And we can save that. And then that's the first steps to creating a new membership type in Civi. And like I said, you can have multiple ones with various ones with different prices and durations. Moving on to the next item is around membership statuses. And membership status rules allow you to define a journey that contacts take through their membership. Again, to access status rules, we go to Administer, CV Member, and Membership Status Rules. So what that does basically is, what is your journey throughout your membership journey? When you first become a member, your status is new for 3 months. Then after 3 months, the system automatically moves you from new to current. And at the end of your current period, if you haven't renewed, you automatically go into a grace period. And these are all sensible out-the-box membership statuses, but you can add your custom ones. For example, you might have approval process before a member becomes an official member. So you might want to introduce custom statuses like awaiting approval or declined. And when somebody becomes a new member, you don't need to worry about changing these manually. The system will do that for you automatically. So there are 2 basic things you need to do to be able to enable and use Civi Member in CiviCRM. And this is all out of the box, so no extensions required for this or any custom development. So now we've got those membership statuses and types set up. I'm just going to go to a contact record in Civi and manually add a membership to the record. So just go to the membership tab, add a membership, select one of the memberships. So this list is from the membership types I showed you just a few minutes ago. So I'll select a random one. I selected bronze, and towards the bottom of the page, that will populate the amount for that membership type automatically. We don't need to worry about changing any dates, etc. That will all be populated automatically based on the rules we set earlier. When creating a membership, if it is related to any fees, they will be populated here at the bottom as well. Again, we don't need to worry about them unless you're providing them with a discount. And we can just change the payment method, how they paid, sorry. And simply save that. And that's created a membership type for this contact record, which tells us when they joined, when the membership expires. And if I refresh that page, we can see there's a linked contribution of £50 of type member dues and when they paid. And so that was an example of creating a membership manually back end. And in this day and age, that rarely happens now. You know, everybody wants to do this kind of thing online, but if people do phone in and they do want to register, that can be done manually back end. So moving on to applying for membership or signing up for membership online. Civi has a few features which allow you to do just that via a functionality called CiviCRM contribution pages. We can access them via contributions, manage contribution pages. Again, if you don't see that item in the menu, it's probably because the Civi contribute component hasn't been enabled. So to manage contribution pages, contributions, and manage contribution pages, contribution pages do 2 main things. One is enable the general public or your members to make donations or to sign up for membership or renew membership. So I've got a contribution page here called membership sign up and renewal, and I'll just go through the tabs just to show you the functionality you can provide. So we've got the simple title and some introduction message. Amounts. So even though this is a membership sign up, you can actually ask for additional donations and tell it what payment processor. And Civi also offers this pay later option. A pay later option is basically an option for your members to be able to send in a check or to pay by bank transfer. We had quite a few memberships, as I showed earlier, but we don't need to have all of them enabled. So we can see here we're only offering bronze, silver, gold, and platinum with an option to auto renew. We can send out receipts immediately upon submission of this online form. We can set the information up here. Profiles in Civi basically means what information do you wish to collect on this form. So we've got two profiles here, one asking for name and address information. And then we've got some custom fields here asking about membership directory details. And the last thing, an underused feature in CiviCRM called premiums. And premiums are basically allow you to either give gifts while signing up, or even upsell products like coffee mugs, t-shirts, magazines, etc. And I've enabled that. What I'll do next is show you how this looks to the general public. And I'm going to switch over to a different browser where I'm not logged in. So I'll just go to our demo site where I'm not logged in. And I've got the link to that contribution in the menu item here. I'm not logged in. We've got the title, the introductory text. CiviCRM has extensions available which enhance the product. On our demo site, we've got an extension called Civi Discount, and I've created it here so you can promote membership sign up by promoting event discount codes. So I've set one here called 50 off, which actually gives you a 50% discount just to encourage people to come on. So that's reduced the amount by 50%. So I'm just going to select a membership type, and I've got the option here to renew my membership automatically because we're using Stripe on this demo site. We've got an option for an optional donation, which I'm going to leave blank. CiviCRM also allows you to create a website account if it's integrated with either Drupal or WordPress or Joomla CMSs. So I'm going to create an account while I'm registering, and this allows you to check availability if that username hasn't been taken. This is the premium section. So I'm going to say I want a coffee mug, or we can say what color we want. So this could be for t-shirts, magazines, or anything you can think of with additional cost, or just a free thank you gift for signing up. And we've got our profile number 1, which is just asking for a few basic bits of information. I'm just going to complete that very quickly. We've got 2 payment options here, Stripe, and as I mentioned earlier, pay later, where you can send in a check or bank transfer. I'm just going to pay by Stripe here. And then we've got our second profile, which is some custom fields about asking if you'd like to be on the membership directory, and asking for a bio. So I'm just going to paste some information there. And I'm also going to upload an image because it allows you to do that. So I'm just going to select an image there. The second screen just asks you to confirm all the information that you've entered. I'm happy with everything, and I'll submit this form. So I'm going to switch back now to Civi, where I'm logged in as an administrator. I'm going to go to that record. So upon submission of that form, it's created a brand new contact. We've asked for email address, main address, some membership custom data, which has all been saved on the record. It's created a new membership, which starts today and expires 1 year from now. And we have a linked contribution of £50, which is recurring, and that's collected automatically every 1 year. And more information about this will be available in your Stripe or your payment processor account. And the email that gets fired out to the member allows them to cancel it and make changes. So the credit card information they used to pay is not saved in CiviCRM or on the servers. It is saved in Stripe. So that was a native CiviCRM contribution page, which allows you to promote membership so people can register and renew their membership. But if your CiviCRM is on either Drupal or WordPress, you can use Drupal web forms, which gives you a little bit more flexibility. And for WordPress, you've got a plugin called Caldera Forms, which also allows you to create forms with a little bit more flexibility. But if you're on standalone or your website is elsewhere, then you can definitely make use of Civi contribution pages, which allow you to promote membership and create membership. While I'm in Civi, just a few tips and tricks or some areas that you may not be familiar with. So the first one is about submitting and renewing memberships backend via credit card. So I just got a contact record here, and let's say this contact had difficulty paying online for whatever reason. So they called up. So what you can do is you can go to their membership record and you can actually submit credit card membership. So this is called telephone orders, and Stripe, PayPal, and a few other payment process allow this integration within Civi. So we can select submit credit card information or even renew credit card membership, which I'll do here. Same thing again, we just enter the credit card as it's being read out over the phone by the member, enter their details. And submit, and that will just talk to the payment processor and credit card company, and then you can renew the membership via a card while you're on the telephone to the member. So if you don't see that option there, it's probably because your payment processor installed doesn't allow you to submit credit cards over the phone. Another feature in Civi, a really powerful one, it's called inherited memberships. This time I'm going to go to an organization record, and we can see here they have 0 memberships at the moment. But under relationships, they've got 2 employees. I'm just going to open one of the employee records, and we'll be able to see here that they have no membership either. But what inherited memberships allows you to do is the primary member, so the organization is the primary member who hold the membership and pay for the membership, which I'm going to add now. So we've got a membership type set up on our demo site called Enterprise Corporate Membership. And this one has been set up to allow employees of the organization to inherit the membership and take advantage of the memberships. So we've got an option here, max related. So an employer in your organization, you might have, say, 50 employees, but you don't want the membership to be inherited by all 50. So we can set a limit to, say, 10, 15, 20. So when the 21st person is linked as an employee, they don't inherit that membership. So we'll leave it blank for now, so it's unlimited, and everything else as per normal. And this one costs £1,000 because it's a corporate membership, and we'll just save that. So that does, as expected, gives the organization a membership type with a start date and end date. And if I go back to one of the employees now and refresh that screen, we can see that this employee now has inherited the membership. And if I click on view, we can see now that it's by relationship of the employer. So that's inherited membership, which allows you to have a primary member, and everybody that's linked to the membership inherits the membership. And that's quite easy to do. If I go back to the membership types screen, so administer, Civi member, and membership types, if I click on edit for enterprise corporate membership, I simply selected employer of under the relationship type. So by this setting, anyone who's linked to the organization by employer of relationship will inherit that membership. So there's a nice feature there called membership inheritance. Another nice feature in Civi is called status override. I'm just going to another record where their membership status is currently in a grace period. And you might want to use this for various reasons. But one reason I can think of on top of my head is just a gesture of goodwill. And a member has kindly asked if you can extend my membership for X number of months for whatever reason. So we can update the membership. And we've got an option here called status override, which allows us to override permanently. So there will always be current or whatever status you select, or we can override it until a certain date in the future. So as we saw, this member was in grace period, but we're going to extend the current period until end of June and save this. So this will give them a status of, oops, forgot to select the status here, current. And now they'll come out of grace and go on to current until 30th of June. And when that date passes, they'll go back to whatever the status as set in the system settings will do. So that's status override if you need to use that. Next kind of tip and trick is moving on to a next section about member comms. And before I get into the member comms and what Civi can do out of the box, I just wanted to cover something called smart groups. And if you're not familiar with it, Civi has two types of groups, static and smart groups. Static groups are basically you create a group and you add people to that group, and nobody actually moves in and out of that group automatically. Either you remove them, or if they unsubscribe to a group, they get removed from the group. But with smart groups, this is conducted via a search. So you might want to do a search, and whatever your search criteria is, so let's say, just give me a simple all members and search. From here, we can create a smart group. And what that does is, what this does is, whoever meets this criteria will automatically fall into the group, and who doesn't will automatically come out of the group. So if you've got 2 new members that join tomorrow, they'll automatically fit the criteria and move into this group. But if you've got a couple of members who decide not to renew, they don't meet that criteria and they will fall out of that group. And moving on to member comms, I've actually got a group on this demo site called current members smart group. So regardless of how many members we've got today, tomorrow, next week, next year, I always have an up-to-date group with all members in there. So as I mentioned, if members don't renew, they'll automatically fall out of it. And we can use these kind of smart groups for sending mailing to all members, so your audience will always be correct. So member comms, Civi allows emailing, sending letters, and even sending text messages. But the most common method these days is obviously email. SMS obviously requires a bit of setup and does cost per sending of text message, which can be quite expensive if you're sending large volumes. So email is obviously the first choice. So I'm just going to go to a contact record in our system. So when it comes to communicating with your members, you can send one-off emails directly from the contact record by going to actions and selecting send an email activity, or or you can click on the email address directly, which opens a pop-up and email. And then people ask, why would I want to use Civi to send the email? I'll just use, my email client, Outlook, or whatever it may be. You're more than welcome to, but the advantage, obviously, sending an email from Civi is it records that interaction automatically. So if I send the email from Civi, it won't actually go out because this is a demo environment, but it will record it as an activity. So we got the email here, who it was sent by, when it was sent, and more importantly, what the content, what that interaction was. So we can send one-off emails from Civi directly from the contact record. Then we've got the mailing component. Again, if you can't see that, it's possibly because you don't have the permission or the mailing component hasn't been enabled. So we can send a new mailing to bulk number of contacts. And we could do that by composing an email, by giving it a name. We can include groups, and we can see we've got our current member smart group here, which currently includes 335 recipients. We give it a subject, and that's what the recipients will see. And we can use tokens, which are kind of mail merge fields. So we can use first name, last name, or any other value that's saved in Civi. Another extension that's available out there is called Mosaico, which allows you to build nice looking, attractive email templates without having any knowledge of HTML. And this allows you to have a drag and drop screen where you can easily add different elements, upload images and text, and have different features available. And you can test and see how it looks on different devices before that goes out. So that will go out to all of our current members using this template. So that's bulk emailing from Civi. Another feature in Civi is around sending communication out automatically, based on certain criteria and dates. And a feature called schedule reminders can be quite powerful, and that's available under administer, communications, schedule reminders. And just a simple one just to start off with. We've got a new members welcome email. So just taking a step back, when I completed that online contribution page, that would have sent out an email immediately to the member with a receipt and perhaps a thank you. But schedule reminders allow you to do it after a certain period based on a date trigger. So this one here, we've got new members welcome email, which will go out 3 days after the member since date to anybody who's got a membership type of bronze, silver, gold, or platinum. It will record an activity. It will go out from this name and email address, and this will be the message that goes out. And then once this has been set up, you won't need to worry about anything, because based on these filters and criterias, an email will go out 3 days after a membership has joined, just introducing them, asking them, did you know about this, or have you accessed our website, etc. So that's a nice simple one there. Obviously, when it comes to renewal times, you might want to send out another message. So we've got an example here called membership expiring in 4 weeks. So send out an email. So what we're doing here, same thing, we're using these membership types, but what we're saying is 4 weeks before membership expiry date, fire out this email, which includes a renew now link. And this is another functionality which we'll cover in just a moment, called checksums, which allows you to which allows the recipient to click on it and log into the website. But like I said, I'll cover that in just a second. But this membership reminder goes out 4 weeks before the membership expires. And then one last one, just based on renewals, is called a final membership expiry reminder, which goes out 2 weeks after the membership expiry date. And I'll just quickly edit that one just to show you. Same thing again, same membership types, but this time it's 2 weeks after membership expiry date. So any member who has renewed in that period will be excluded from this final one because their membership end date would have moved forward 1 year. And same thing again, who's come from and your actual message. And while I'm on the subject of schedule reminders, it's not just for membership. schedule reminders can be used for any part of CiviCRM where a date has been recorded. So that could be based on an activity date, a contribution date, or even something simple, a birth date. So you might want to send a happy birthday email to your members on their birthday. So we can do things like that. So we're saying for the birth date field, on each anniversary, excuse me, send an email out 2 days before the birth date field, and we're going to limit to only our current members' smart group, and this email should go out. So there's some examples of automation for membership, and an example there on birth date. But as I mentioned, any date in CiviCRM, you can use schedule reminders to fire out automatic emails. We touched on renewals there a little bit, just as gentle reminders. But there's a few features in CiviCRM which allow you to renew and make it easier for staff and admin. So one is obviously if you've got a payment processor such as Stripe, you can give an option to the members on sign up to auto renew. So when the anniversary comes, that payment is collected automatically. But if you don't have that option, or your members decide not to auto renew, just a moment ago, I showed you this link, and a Civi has this functionality called checksum. I'm just going to go back to a member record. And let's say this member received that email. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to send out an email to this member using a template, which includes this token and this link called checksum. And I'm going to send out that email. It won't get sent out, but in the activity, these tokens would have populated. So I'll just send that email, go to these contacts, activities, and that's the email that went out. And if I view that now, I'm just going to grab this link, and the 2 tokens in there have pre-populated with some hash codes and contact IDs, and that's what the email recipient would see. And again, I'm going to go back now to a browser where I'm not logged in and paste that link. And this is the journey your members would see if they don't have a login to the account. So I'm clearly not logged in, but using that link, it's taken me to the contribution page, but has pre-populated my information that's saved in Civi. So this could be less friction for your members. And if you don't have a website or member login system, you can use this checksum system just for ease for the member, for yourselves, and to avoid duplication as well. So as I mentioned, this populates the information that's already in Civi. And if they change anything here, it will automatically update Civi. And if I do submit this form, the membership will renew by 1 year. So that's a nice little feature in Civi called checksum. And some of you might have a members area. This is not really a core part of Civi, but it can quite easily be built using Drupal or WordPress. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to log in as a member. And you can also do this on our demo site. Username member and password also member. So this is a members dashboard, not core Civi, but it's a combination of Drupal views, CiviCRM search kit. But all the data, or majority of the data, is actually stored in CiviCRM, and we're just pulling this data so this member can see it. So we know who the member is. This is their Civi first name. We've got an option here to renew, and this renew now link takes you to the same contribution page, but this time I'm logged in, and also same again, just pre-populates my information. So as a member, when I'm logged in, I've got an option there to renew. As a member, I've got access to member resources. This is a bit of integration between CiviCRM and Drupal. So the general public can't access these member resources. As a member, I can see all the events I registered for, and this information again is just information that's stored in Civi on the members record. And we've got a little section here just about all the payments that they've made, and an option to download their invoice if need be. And as a member, we can update details, and this is actually a Drupal web form. And if I update anything here, that updates information in Civi in real time. But as I mentioned, this is not core part of Civi. But what you can do if you don't have Civi integrated with your main website, core Civi does offer a feature called CiviCRM Members Dashboard. And this is a core Civi feature. So when your members do log in, instead of the dashboard and the Drupal views about payments, etc., we just saw, this core feature actually allows you to do something similar, which is your contributions. You can actually download invoices and also pay for any pending contributions. It displays your events that you've interacted with, what memberships you have, an option to renew as well, and what relationships you have in Civi. So this is a core part of Civi, and this can be available to you immediately. Moving on to reporting. Just going back to Civi logged in and as an administrator, the membership component has a dashboard, which gives you an overview of everything that's happening, number of memberships, which membership types, etc. We've got a find membership search. Under search, find memberships. And this search here gives us multiple rows. And the purpose of this is with the results, you want to do something via the actions menu. So it could be things like emailing, exporting via CSV, creating groups, printing or updating memberships in bulk. Civi also offers a number of membership templates from the membership menu called membership reports. So we can build memberships based on one of these options. So if I select membership details and view results, these core Civi reports allow you to add columns. So I might want to add, say, gender, birth date, age, and email address to the report. If I click on view results, that would have added those new columns. We can add filters. So you might want to add filters such as only include certain membership types to this particular report. And you might only want to see certain membership statuses. So we can add filters to the report and refresh the results. And if this is a report that you use regularly, we can actually add it to the navigation menu. And I've got an example here under membership reports, and I've created one earlier called members in grace period. So if you always wanted to check members in grace period, we can run that report. And with these Civi reports, you've got an option under the Access tab to have it available for the dashboard, which I'm going to move on to now. So when you first log in and go to Civi, you land on the CiviCRM homepage or CiviCRM dashboard. One thing I just want to point out here is the Civi dashboard is unique to your user. So what I see on this screen is what I see, but if somebody else logs in, they can potentially have different reports and different information on this page. So that report I just showed, the Grace one, I selected available for dashboard, and here it is on the left-hand side here. But as I mentioned, this might not be important to you because you might be part of the events department or a different department. So we can actually remove this dashlet and add things that are important to your department or your role. So we can just move things in and out, drag them to the left and right. So that was CiviCRM core reports. But nowadays, Civi has moved forward and I'm sure a lot of you are now experienced or familiar with Search Kit and Form Builder. Search Kit and Form Builder basically allow you to build reports from scratch. And we've got a couple of examples here. A simple one, so that's when somebody new joins, it appears on the dashboard. We've just got some simple columns there, the image, name, which hyperlinks to open the contact in a new tab, what membership type, and this start date again, which is linked to a pop-up screen to show more details about the membership. Another example of a Search Kit dashlet we've built is pending payments. So this is a good example for somebody in the finance team who may have signed up for membership but opted to pay later. So with this here, we can chase members who haven't paid their fees or haven't paid by a bank transfer. Again, we've got some links here which open in pop-ups. And we've got a button here which allows you to update payment if they have paid. So these are a couple of examples. Before we move on, we've got one more example on just on a different environment where Search Kit and Form Builder can go a step ahead and do all sorts of fancy graphs and pie charts. Doesn't want to load for me. I'll try and come back to that in a moment. Nearly done. Before we finish up, I just want to show you a couple of things regarding extensions and modules. So we've got a couple of examples where we have, if you're on Drupal, we've got this module called CiviCRM Member Role Sync. And again, less admin for you guys. What that does is, if you've got a Drupal site and you've got members logging in, we can set these association rules so that if you've got a membership type bronze, then give them the role member. And if I edit one of them, basically we're telling the system that for anyone who's got a membership type bronze, give them the Drupal role member. And if they have a membership status of new, current, and grace, give them that role. But if they decide not to renew, then they get that role removed. So basically, you don't need to maintain the website side of things. So if a member expires, their role gets revoked and they won't have the website privileges. And for those of you on WordPress, there's a similar plugin which allows you to do exactly that, called WordPress Member Sync. There's a chart kit extension, which is now part of Civi Core, that just needs to be enabled. I touched on Civi Discount, which is a nice extension available, which I used on the Civi contribution page, but you can also do things like automatic discounts for members, and this can be integrated with events. So here's an example here where members get 25% off automatically for this membership, for this discount, sorry, for everybody who has this membership type and is a current status. So if they log in, they don't need to enter a discount code. They will get that automatically. We've already touched on Mosaico, which allows you to create nice, fancy HTML templates. And one last one, because we're approaching our deadline, is an extension called Member Only Event. So under Events and Manage Events, we've got a little option under Info Settings called Member Only Event, and this is ticked. You can basically promote your events to the general public, but only members can register. So that's called a Member Only Event. So that was my part, demonstrating some features of CiviCRM, and I hope that was useful. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time.